being sold by Felton, it is clear this video is for sexual purposes.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jesus, just look at the titles. Mommy's a whore, and it's a breastfeeding video of her rubbing herself and her child down in oil and breastfeeding. YouTubers in prison right now. I bet I'll be able to name everyone that he just talks about in this video. I'll be honest, I already don't recognize... Oh, this is the wrong one. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't know who that is. But I bet I'll be able to name pretty much everyone here. Oh, wait, there's cheating. Oh, that's unlucky. That's very unlucky. Let's see if there's any I don't know.
In YouTube's nearly 20-year history, we've seen many content creators get in trouble with the law. Generally speaking, your average YouTube lawbreaker comes in the form of a prank channel taking things too far, or perhaps an influencer spending the night in jail over some disorderly conduct. However, some cases are far more serious, with content creators not only getting arrested and jailed, but receiving criminal...
I wouldn't necessarily put Chris Chan as a YouTuber. To be fair, that transcends YouTubing. But by technicality, that is correct, I suppose. Alright, Austin Jones. We've talked about Austin Jones at length. This is that pedophile who used to have his like 14-year-old girl audience send bad videos to him. In one of the court documents that was publicized, the transcript read, "I want you to clap your asshole at me and say this 14-year-old ass is yours," or something like that. The guy is a fucking menace. Huge, big
pedophile.
So he's been in jail for quite some time. I think he got like a 20-year sentence. Let me double check. Well, actually, here, I'll let Wavy Web Surf say it.
To show Austin Jones requesting one girl to delete a tweet where the alleged minor publicly revealed Austin was requesting twerk videos. "I think I'd die of laughter, haha. I've legit been
yeah, I forgot.
All week, haha.
He used to do it. He used to do it as like a, I'm just kidding, haha. Don't, you know, you don't actually have to send me naked videos, haha. But if you did, I'd laugh. Lol. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Do it, it'd be fun. So as you can see, you've got these screenshots allegedly showing Austin Jones requesting, you know, fake...
You don't have to say alleged anymore, Wavy, because he is in jail. He was convicted on the charges. It's not alleged. You can just straight say it now with your whole chest. He is legitimately a convicted pedophile now.
...favors from minors. The concerning allegations surrounding Austin Jones would begin to circulate around Twitter, and the situation would become something of a viral news event when YouTubers publish videos covering the allegations.
He had told me that in the past, like a couple years ago, if not a year or two ago, whatever, that he asked for girls to twerk for him in videos, to send them videos of them twerking for him.
Why are these people doing this? You know, these are people that have all these people looking up to them, and they're taking advantage of their fans. And honestly, I think that it gives our music scene a very...
Why I was that desperate? Why I was even asking for those things? It was that depression piling up into me searching for attention.
Home in Bloomingdale, Illinois.
Hold on, I don't know if he's going to pull this up, but I do want to pull it up. Well, I want to remember what he said exactly in the court case. Damn, all of these are... Jesus. I didn't realize it was already 4 years ago. God, Jesus. Where's that ass clapping thing that he used to say? There's so much publicized about his arrest now that it's hard to find. Oh, here it is. According to the complaint, Jones instructed... Here. According to the complaint, Jones instructed girls on how to shake or clap their buttocks and expose themselves in videos for him. At the beginning, get super close and say...
YouTube singer Austin Jones...
Damn it. At the beginning, get super close and say these lines. Hey Austin, it's name, and this butt is 14, in most of the cases for these people, years old, and then make it clap for 30 seconds. Got it? Yeah. Fucking menace. Thanks to resub Frosty, Raccoon, and Slim. It was like he was trying to compile as much evidence against himself as possible. So he would have the girls state their name and age, and they were all minors, like actual children. And all of it got used against him, clearly. He was actually, like, conducting the investigation on himself and making sure all of the evidence could stick.
Three days later, on June 11th, Homeland Security investigators raided the YouTube star's residence. During the search, authorities discovered illicit child content on the man's devices. He was then arrested and hit with 2 CP-related charges. What followed were a series of court proceedings that revealed the true horrific abuse committed by Austin Jones. One such discovery was that in messages Austin had exchanged with a minor, he would request the underage fan to announce their age while the individual performed suggestive acts for him. In court transcripts, Austin describes a conversation between him and a 14-year-old girl as a, quote, audition, where she would have to perform suggestive dances and acts for his approval. The man apparently acting as a sort of sadistic director, guiding the minor to perform in a way.
How many years in jail did he get, though? I don't remember.
Now you need an intro to the video. At the beginning, get super close.
Yep, there it is.
These lines. Hey Austin, it's name, and this butt is age, years old, and then make it foul for 30 seconds. Got it? After a series.
Oh yeah, he also used to send videos of him doing it as like tutorials, like instructive videos on how to do it. So he'd give them like the breakdown. I forgot about that as well. It's been a while since I talked about this case.
Jones would eventually be found guilty on one count of receiving CP, and on February 1st of 2017, Austin Jones was sentenced to serve 10 years in prison, with his earliest possible release being in 2027. In the wake of his sentencing, the man's YouTube channel has been deleted, and the name Austin Jones has been entered into the ever-growing catalog of YouTubers busted for CP. His reputation likely permanently destroyed thanks to his own abusive activities.
But wait till 2027 with that. This one's really fucked too. Wait till 2027 with that Austin Jones comeback redemption arc, though. Convicted sex offender Austin Jones about to make waves in 2027. This one's murder. This one's murder. This one's not. This one is also not good, as you could imagine. I mean, if EDP isn't canceled. Yeah, EDP was never found guilty on his shit because the investigation they did that busted him was ruled not usable. So he never actually got any consequences for it, like legally.
Mr. Anime is a name known far and wide online. Essentially serving as the godfather of anime reviews on YouTube, this young man was once one of the most prolific creators in the early YouTube landscape. However, beneath the affable persona showcased in videos was a monster capable of committing some of the most heinous crimes imaginable. This is the story of Mr. Anime.
Shaky, shaky.
Thanks to give some raccoon the prime jack.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna eat this.
Trey Sessler was born August 3rd of 1989 in Waller, Texas. Trey has been described as a loner who had a hard time holding down a job, which is what ultimately led him to starting his YouTube channel. Launching the Mr. Anime channel in the early days of the site, Trey was a YouTube pioneer.
Crazy how drug dealers got 30 plus and only gets 10 for CP.
He was one of the first on the platform to
it actually does seem like a light sentence, to be honest.
Anime news on a regular basis. His consistent upload schedule and critiques making him somewhat of an early internet tastemaker when it came to both gaming and anime. Trey was also known for his humorously blunt review scale that he used to review media in his videos, with 1 being absolute shit and 10 being rarely given to superb shows. Trey's matter-of-fact and often aggressive
style very big.
Well within this AVGN-inspired era of YouTube, and much like other media reviewers of the time, Mr. Anime was no stranger to creating skit videos. Trey created various sketches, which
everyone knows this guy. Why go over it for the? I know. Like I said, I'm pretty confident I'm going to know everyone on here. I just got lost in it, but yeah. Mr. Anime eventually started getting a little weird. Started posting content with guns, a real hyperfixation on guns. Eventually, it led to him killing his mom and then planning a school shooting. He got arrested. How long was his sentence? I think it was his mom, right? It was his mom that he killed. Let me double check. February 2012, Trey said he was going to take a 2 to 3 week break to reward himself. At the end of his break, he announced on March 13th he had a new job. In the early morning of March 20th, 2012, Trey lured his mom out into the garage where he shot her in the chest, point-blank rage, and from there he entered the home and shot his brother in the head. His father woke up from the shots, entered the living room to investigate, only to be shot by Trey in the torso. From here, Trey destroyed the whole house and killed the remaining pets in the house before carrying weapons and hundreds of rounds of ammunition to Walter High School down the street with plans to commit mass murder. His original plan was to kill at least 70 students at the school's pep rally to become the biggest mass murder in history, as revealed in the interrogation. He killed his family first to stop them from knowing what he planned on doing next. However, Trey stood down and returned home, where he was arrested for murder. He later revealed that the event was becoming all too real and he gave up. I didn't even remember he killed the whole family. I actually thought it was just his mom. Holy fuck. But yeah. As for how long he was sentenced, I'm not sure. Let's see. Wavy probably has it here.
The plan was to shoot up his local high school and kill over 70 students. He had hoped to become the deadliest mass shooter in history.
They would first immediate human targets in my sight, and if I was going to go out and do anything,
these are some cheeks.
And I'm like,
and Drip and Jonah.
There's my opportunity.
He wasn't on any drugs.
Right after
No,
I had
sober.
Killed the family. It was on my mind to do that.
Sessler had other things on his mind. A Columbine-style shooting at Waller High School.
Further investigation from authorities would reveal that Trey had become obsessed with the Columbine shooters and school shooters in general.
Was it death penalty? Did he?
That
I don't think so.
would later search Trey's computer and found that the man had ranked several school shootings, logging his personal opinions on which ones he thought were the best and the worst. On Thursday, August 2nd of 2012, Trey Sessler would be sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to all charges. Trey himself even reportedly urged the judge to revoke his right to parole because he feared he would be a threat to himself and others. Mr. Sessler, now 33 years old, resides at the Terrell Prison Facility in Texas and will remain in prison for the rest of his life.
Yep. This next one is a really wacky one. Amos Yee. Amos Yee originally popped off and got a ton of support behind him from the entire internet, namely Reddit, because in the beginning of his career he spoke out against corruption. I can't even remember the specifics, but he was speaking out against like government corruption where he was at, and he got punished for it, heavily punished for that. And the internet rallied behind Amos Yee. Eventually Amos Yee comes to the States. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but he got to the States, and then his whole platform became why pedophilia is not real and why it should be like encouraged. He even made a whole video talking about how babies can consent to sex. And I shit you not, one of his arguments was babies when they're hungry will do this with their hands. So they can tell you what they want. So if they tell you they want sex, they'll do that. Like, I'm not kidding. That was one of his fucking arguments. So he made videos defending pedophilia, talking about pedophilia being not real and actually having sex with kids is a good moral thing. And then, a surprise to no one, it turns out he had tons of child porn. So he was arrested for it. Thanks to the resub Paradox, Scoob, Lion, and the 10 gift subs Pagan. Thank you, Pagan. Yep. It was fucking wild, too, because so many people... Like, this was like one of the biggest bait and switches I've ever seen in internet history. Amos Yee had so much support for so long because he was speaking out against corruption. He's calling out corruption, even at great risk to his own safety. Received punishment for it, and I don't even remember what exactly the punishment was. So much support. Eventually he gets free, gets to the States, and immediately, literally fucking like immediately, like a year later, starts talking about pedophilia and fucking kids. It was wild. But yep, I don't remember how long his sentence was, so let's see what the conclusion is from Wavy.
To remember that there were actually a small group of people supporting Amos and his ideology regarding pedos. They weren't happy that Amos had been banned from his social media accounts and felt that what he was doing was simply an extreme exercise of free speech and playing some like super far off devil advocate for pedos and CP advocation. You know, suggesting that the guy wasn't actually doing anything wrong. Well, all of that goes out the window when we soon find that Amos Yee was actually committing crimes related to CP. In October of 2020, Amos Yee was busted by a group of amateur pedo hunters for allegedly sending and receiving illicit images with a 14-year-old girl on WhatsApp. The girl had reportedly been victim to Amos's illegal requests over a period of months, and it was only after he became aggressive with her did she reveal the messages to the pedo hunters.
I didn't remember it was like a vigilante group.
Amos Yee would later be arrested on charges of solicitation and possession of CP. Initially, the man would plead not guilty, claiming that the allegations were all lies, but he would later enter a guilty plea as a part of a plea deal in an effort to get a lighter sentence. In December of 2021, Amos Yee was sentenced to serve 6 years in prison, and it's likely that whenever he's released, he'll be deported back to Singapore to face the wrath of that government once again. From anti-government pro-free speech advocate to CP possessor, that was the Amos Yee story.
I thought maybe I was a little foggy on the details. I thought it was more than just that, right? Let me double check. I thought it was more than just that grooming and solicitation of child porn. I thought it was having it as well, possession of... Well, I mean, that was one of the charges, but I thought he had just like a general stockpile. But I might be crossing wires. Let me see. Oh, okay, so this is what it was. When he entered that plea deal, they dropped the other 16 charges against him. So that's what happened. So he pled guilty to 2 charges of child grooming and child pornography for a lighter sentence of 6 years, which dropped the other 16 charges. Okay, so that's what it was. That plea deal got rid of the other fucking laundry list of charges. Thanks to the resub Murph and Cosmic. I don't know who this one is.
In the live streaming
the first
world,
one I don't
needs
know.
a gimmick to stand out.
Oh, is this the
viewers?
I think I know this is this the I think it was a Russian streamer who left his girlfriend out in the cold to die, then brought her body on stream and continued to stream even after calling the EMS. Is that this guy? It is. Thought so. Him and his girlfriend got into an argument. He forced her outside in the cold winter. She died of hypothermia. She was also pregnant at the time. He drags her in on stream, then continues the stream, calls emergency services who go there, try and resuscitate. They can't, obviously. And he streams the whole fucking thing. Yep. That was only like 2 years ago.
Too far when the gimmick essentially becomes abusing his girlfriend. Abuse that eventually leads to a death and a prison sentence. This is the story of Reflay. Stanislav Reshetnikov, aka Reflay, was once a trash vlogger. And I don't mean that as an insult. There's literally a video genre called trash vlogging. Trash vlogging is a style of vlogging in which viewers pay to have someone on stream abused for their own amusement. It's a genre that's popular in Russia, and while the actions committed in these streams are often illegal, streamers are very rarely prosecuted. The videos are violent and often target women. Now, where does Reflay fit into this picture? Reflay would use his 28-year-old girlfriend, Valya, as the victim in his streams. Disgusting chatters that visited would donate and encourage him to do vile things to his girlfriend, and as a result, he would verbally and physically abuse the woman. According to reports, he would shove her around, call her a prostitute, smelly, even going as far as pepper spraying the woman at a viewer's request. And unfortunately, this dangerous style of streaming would prove to be lethal for Reflay's girlfriend. During one stream, a viewer would donate $1,000, ordering Reflay to force his girlfriend out on the building balcony and lock her outside in freezing weather. Keep in mind that it only takes about 30 minutes for hypothermia symptoms to show.
Part of that request was that she had to be like in bra and panties or something. Or I don't even know if it was part of the request, but if I remember correctly, like, that's what she was wearing. Like, he forced her out there in that, and then she died from it.
Reflay would oblige with the request and locks his girlfriend outside. Throughout the stream, the woman can be heard screaming and begging for him to let her inside, which only results in Reflay filming her struggle through the glass door and mocking her as she attempts to get inside. But eventually, she stops banging on the door and making any attempt to get back in. Realizing what likely just happened, while the stream is still rolling, he then opens the door and drags in his girlfriend's now lifeless body. She had died. In apparent disbelief, Reflay can be heard saying, "Valya, are you alive? Valya, are you alive?" The man would continue streaming and interacting with chat for some time until eventually calling for medical help. When paramedics arrived, it didn't take long for them to pronounce Valya dead. While it was assumed that hypothermia was the cause of death, autopsy reports would indicate that the woman had craniocerebral trauma. It was later revealed that Reflay had actually beat his girlfriend prior to putting her outside. The combination of these two factors is what resulted in the death. After authorities got a grasp of what had happened,
it's not pertinent to the story, but wasn't she pregnant? I feel like it was this guy that did that to the pregnant girlfriend, but maybe I'm getting the story mixed up. I think it was. I'm almost positive.
Stanislav Reshetnikov, aka Reflay, was now facing serious charges and was implicated in causing the death of the woman. In April of 2021, Stanislav
only 6 years
convicted of intentional infliction of grievous bodily harm dangerous to human life committed with the use of an object as a deadly weapon, resulting in the death of the victim by negligence. As a result of this conviction, the man received an insultingly light 6 years in prison. In light of this outrageously soft sentence, a Russian senator would actually speak out and advocate for more punishment to be placed on trash vloggers like Stanislav. Quote, "This is becoming more and more widespread, so it's necessary to legislatively respond to this form of activity. Naturally, if we are talking about direct participation or complicity in murder, then the imprisonment term may be longer. And what could be described as a dark web snuff video resulting in measly prison time, that was the story of Reflay."
God, that's so fucking frustrating. 6 years for that. Jesus.
Many of you may be aware of a sort of long-standing loophole in the YouTube rules that allows nudity to be shown on the site. For example, if the nudity is used for an educational purpose, it's permitted, such as like a woman showing other women how to perform a breast exam on themselves. Another example of this could be a video where a woman is showing other women how to breastfeed. But One woman takes this loophole way too far and gets criminal charges from it. This is Lee Felton. She was once a piano teacher based out of Tallahassee, Florida. The woman taught under the business name Miss Lee's Piano Studio, where she would instruct kids and young adults in the area, teaching them how to play. Despite having her own business, Lee was financially struggling. After being left by her 1-year-old child's father, Miss Lee found herself a single mother. This abandonment, compounded with the financial struggles she experienced, caused the woman to sink into a deep depression, her self-esteem essentially hitting rock bottom. So, in a completely unhealthy and disgusting way of addressing both the issues of financial problems and self-esteem, she starts creating breastfeeding videos on YouTube.
Initially, she's one of those.
Instructional content, the videos.
There's a whole subset of creators on YouTube, and it's not always breastfeeding, but that is a big one, that do like porn, but they do it under the guise of education, kind of like what Wavy was mentioning in the beginning, but it's usually more egregious, and it's usually in the yoga category. Anything health and fitness related, they'll just do it like nude or close to nude, and the excuse is that it's showing the human body and like how it reacts to the movements or something. And then another big one is like not anal bleaching, what the fuck? Oh my god. Is it vaginal? It might be vaginal exams. I don't know, but there's one where it's like actual like pussy exploration, and it's supposed to be like a medical thing or informative. And is it? I think it's Brazilian waxing. I think you're right. I think it was Brazilian waxing. I think that's what I'm thinking of. That's probably it. But yeah, that's another big one. I don't know what the criminal charges would have been, though.
Breastfeeding her 1-year-old child. But what we find is things quickly get depraved and meander away from instructional to suggestive and sexually charged. Lee quickly recognized that her core audience wasn't actually women trying to learn how to breastfeed, it was perverted men commenting on her appearance, talking about how much they enjoyed the videos. And after seeing this, instead of stop uploading the videos or ban these users from viewing her YouTube channel, what she does is essentially play into these nasty, disgusting perverts. Lee allegedly sold unlisted videos to inquiring viewers and very purposefully dialed up the sexual nature of the breastfeeding content. Lee reportedly made breastfeeding videos where she rubbed herself and her child down in and shoved her breasts in the baby's face.
Jesus
Christ. Her videos titles akin to something you might find on an adult website. Titles such as Slip and Slide and Mommy's a Whore.
Oh, what the fuck?
Christ. This vomit-inducing situation would continue unchecked for some time, but eventually somebody would report Lee. According to reports, a Wisconsin man was apparently busted purchasing Lee's content by his wife, and after discovering the repulsive videos, the wife reportedly Felton to authorities. In October of
and hopefully divorced the husband.
Lee Felton would be arrested and charged with promoting sexual performance by a child, lewd and lascivious behavior, cruelty towards a child, and molestation. During her trial, she would describe her videos as a, quote, silly little playful thing, and that she doesn't believe it's criminal. She explained that the motivation behind making the videos was mental health struggles. Quote, finally, I was getting attention and felt like I had some worth, adding, I'm not a monster. Lee Felton's defense attempted to argue that her breastfeeding videos fell under free speech protection, but nobody was buying this defense. A Tallahassee sheriff's lieutenant puts it best.
Free
Quote,
speech?
The video was clearly not done for the purpose of education or artistic display. Based on the content and the fact that it's being sold by Felton, it is clear this video is for sexual purposes.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jesus, just look at the titles. Mommy's a Whore, and it's a breastfeeding video of her rubbing herself and her child down in oil and breastfeeding. Yeah, fucking obviously it's not a free speech educational purpose video. It's a fetish, and it's a fucking weird one. Holy shit, yeah, I'd never heard of this one. This is so weird. What the fuck? Thanks to the resub Exumer, Mike, and the resub Guardian, Steez, and Smed, and the resub Krillin. Holy.
Lee would eventually be found guilty on one count of lewd and lascivious exhibition. She was sentenced to serve 10 years in federal prison along with a 5-year probation, and she was added to the sex offender registry. She would later address the judge over the case, claiming that her time in jail was, quote, humbling, and that she had, quote, a moral compass now.
Good news. Good news.
You made it to the end. Those were YouTubers literally imprisoned at the time of me recording this video. Let me know what you guys thought about this one down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you.
I knew
guys.
all of them but one.
Surf out.
I thought I'd know them all, but I didn't know Lee Felton. That was good, Wavy. But yeah, that's a fucking wild one. Holy shit. Jesus Christ.